Hi, today we are going to talk about converting units. So our goals of this video are to convert measures within the English system, also within the metric system, and then going back and forth between the English and the metric system. Before we get started, let's remember how to multiply fractions. Remember that you have to multiply the top number times the top number and the bottom number times the bottom number. And so 2 times 5 is 10, 3 times 10 is 30, and then simplify if needed. Both of these are divisible by 10. And so my final answer would be 1/3. I want to do one more with you. Let's pretend that we have a whole number like 12, and we need to multiply that by a fraction. And let's say we're multiplying it by 2/3. Okay, remember that you can make any whole number into a fraction by placing it over 1. So now, same thing. We're going to do, 12 times 2 and 1 times 3. That's 24 over 3. And that simplifies to 8 wholes because 24 divided by 3 is 8. You could also look at this as dividing both of them by 3. That would give you 8 over 1, which again is just 8. So when we are converting with a measurement system, one way to do this is to use what's called a double number line. So this is a visual representation, okay? And it's showing you visually how different units can represent the same amount of space or the same quantity. So for example, you can see that 3 feet and 36 inches are the same length. Okay, inches are much smaller. There's 12 inches in 1 foot, but you can see that they're the same amount of space. Okay, which means that 12 and 1 are equivalent, 24 and 2 are equivalent, 36 and 3, and you could keep that going. Another way to use to do the same type of thing by converting is a process that you may not have heard of before. It's called dimensional analysis, and that's a super big word, okay? But it means that you can change, or it's a process that you use to change from, for example, inches to yards. Okay, so to convert using dimensional analysis, you must multiply the original measurement by the conversion. And we're going to do 2 examples together for this. The rates 1 yard over 36 inches and 36 inches over 1 yard are conversion factors. So let me show you an example. So practice problem number 1. We are converting 45 inches to yards. So this is what I'm starting with. That's going to go first. And remember, it says in order to do dimensional analysis, I need to multiply by the conversion factor. Now, I'm going to put inches on the bottom, and I'll explain why in a second, yards on top. And that's not always going to be the case, but I'm going to match. So 36 goes with inches, 36 goes on the bottom, 1 goes with yards, so 1's going to go on top. And now I have a multiplying fractions problem. So I'm going to put this over 1. Now, the reason I'm going to put inches on the bottom on the second part of this problem is because I want my inches to cancel out one another. And when I have 2 fractions like this being multiplied, if I have the same thing in the diagonal position, they will cancel. So my inches cancel out, and now I'm ready to begin. So I'm going to do 45 times 1 over 1 times 36. I get 45 yards over 36. Final thing is to simplify. Okay, so I'm doing 45 over 36, which means I'm dividing it. 36 goes into 45 one whole time. Okay, so now my answer is going to have a whole number of 1. I subtract. I'm left with 9 over 36. That simplifies. And that is 1 whole and 1/4 yard. So that's how many yards 45 inches is. Okay, let's try one more. And this time I challenge you to pause this video and try it on your own. So I'm going to start with what it's asking me to convert. And I'm going to multiply that by the conversion factor here. Remember, I want my inches to cancel. So 12 is going to go on the bottom, feet is going to go on top. And I'm ready. 48 times 1 is 48. 1 times 12 is 12. My inches cancel. And 48 divided by 12 is actually 4 holes. So my answer is 4 feet. So before stopping this video, make sure that you know how to convert measures within the English system, within the metric system, and between the two systems. And look out for my next video because we're going to go into more depth with converting units.